She's so good. She's so good that I was kind of scared to talk to her when we weren't rolling. Episode 4, the Candy Lady episode, that was hard because, you know, that's real life. Because that's the point. We tell these stories, one, to shine a light on them, but then to save through them. And so that's what that episode was for me.
I couldn't get the bat light, so I yanked the door.
You set this off?
My brother left for school and never showed up. He's been gone for 2 months and nobody cares. Do you care about women?
Once Ryan came onto the show, we realized, yes, now we have a story that we can tell where our central character is personally affected by this villain, and it kind of helped unfold a little bit of this backstory that we wanted to tell with Ryan, that she was thrown into these foster homes, and the foster system, as we all know, is pretty shaky, and there's not a lot of oversight and accountability, and she ultimately got funneled into this horrific situation where Candy Lady is now sending her into this pipeline of gang life. Revealing her kryptonite, which is helping kids, you know, in a way where, not in a bad way, because kryptonite can be bad, but in a way where it can weaken her and make her vulnerable to traps. It really showed a lot of Ryan and who she is and her vulnerabilities and her need to help, especially in communities like hers where people don't put on the news when a young black kid goes missing as often as they do, you know, for others. It was really important for us to showcase, like, yes, if you're blonde hair, fair skin, blue-eyed girl, like, you know, I guess she had brown hair, but, you know, you're gonna get looked for. People are gonna have a search party for you, and people are gonna get off their couch and go look for you. If you're Ryan Wilder, a person of color who doesn't have a family supporting them, you're not even probably gonna be on the news that you went missing. So that was the story that we were interested in telling.
I have received intelligence suggesting that my daughter, Kane, is alive.
Sir.
I believe that she survived the crash, or perhaps wasn't even on the aircraft to begin with. I also believe that my daughter is collateral damage between two warring parties, and I am personally offering $1 million cash reward to anyone who can provide information into who took her or how that happened.
You know, he acknowledges that she saved his life. I don't think it's thawed his perception or his philosophy about vigilantes in general. Although I think that he's more willing to go along with the new Batwoman in terms of how that will play out in relation to his quest to find Kate. Because every time he looks at Batwoman, he's thinking about his daughter. So it's a layered thing for him. It's not just Batwoman in a costume. It's the fact that here's someone who's replaced his daughter, his own flesh and blood. So that's obviously something else that emotionally happens throughout the course of season 2 for him.
So working with Cam and Meagan, who are my dear friends outside of work, was so much fun. I really like working with Meagan because her character of Sophie is so the opposite of Alice. She's so regimented and by the books and put together.
I absolutely love Dougray. We have so many scenes together, but it was so nice to be able to work with other people. And so the fact that I got to work with Rachel, and she's literally like one of my best friends with this entire process.
And we both really enjoy kind of playing a reaction to one another. So, and then, you know, you throw Luke in there and it's just like a bag of fun. Just when I thought we were bonding.
Did you really think I trust you?
I want to find Kate just like you.
The question is why? To make things right? To apologize? To promise you'll change your ways?
I think we both know the answer to that question.
I'm gonna find my sister, and I'm gonna kill her.
I think Alice believes in her mind all the time that she fully wants to kill Kate. I don't think that what Alice believes or tells herself is always necessarily how she really feels. I think she's had to do that as a protection mechanism. Like I said, I really, truly don't think that she really wanted to kill Kate ever. I just think she was so angry. I mean, we've all felt like we wanted to kill someone before, right? We didn't actually do it.
When Alice says to Sophie that she's looking for Kate because she wants to kill her, Sophie is absolutely taking her at her word, because Sophie knows that Alice is a little crazy, but that Alice has always had this revengeful thing towards the Kate family from her own past as a child. And so when she says that, it's, you know, all the alarms, bells, whistles, everything's going off, because she's like, wait a minute, what? So this is not because you're trying to save her, it's because you're actually wanting to kill her. And so now she knows, I gotta get back to Gotham so I can tell Jacob, and so that we can go in and get Kate before she does.
Me, Rachel, and Megan, we have such a great time because we're such close friends. I mean, I'm such close friends with everyone in the cast, but it's always so great to see the friends that I don't get to see very often on the show. So having that subplot of Luke, Megan, and Alice was a really fun dynamic, because there's this weird dynamic where Luke has to help both of them at the same time, and he has to sort of find a way to help Sophie help himself find Kate, but he doesn't want Alice to know, even though they're in the same room. So that was a lot of fun.
We're gonna find Kate. What?
Nothing.
Sophie just told us that Kate is alive on an island in the Mediterranean.
Yeah. And the person who told Sophie that Kate's alive is named Alice. And Alice heard it from some mystery woman named Sophia, who just hired a hitman to try and kill me. So we are playing a game of telephone with a bunch of homicidal women.
Or Alice is telling the truth, and Kate needs us to find her.
Or she's not, and we're getting our hopes up for nothing.
See, Alice can't get my hopes up because I never lost hope to begin with.
The actress that plays Candy Lady, her name is Linda Cash. She's so good. She's so good. She's so good that I was kind of scared to talk to her when we weren't rolling. So I was like, she has to be this crazy. Like, she has to be, because she was just so scary. It was like one of her last days where we actually got to sit down and talk. And when I talked to her, I was like, you're nothing like your character. Oh my goodness, you're good. You had me scared. You're scary.
I'm not police. Around here, I'm known as the neighborhood Candy Lady. Jelly bean?
Nah.
So, my son just left for boarding school. And now, I got a minivan full of comic books. I was just about to donate them, but maybe you might want to pick through them first?
Depends. What's he all got?
Too many. And by the looks of your stash, I'm guessing your mom has the same problem I do, huh?
You know, and he was very much on top of his game in season 1, and he was trying to keep control of the city, and he was in battle with so many different elements within Gotham. And then, of course, he lost his wife, and it was all an action sort of journey that he had. And now season 2 is more of a time of reflection for him, and the loss that he's suffered in his life, and the bridges that he's got to build between the characters he thinks he's possibly neglected, and the harm or the regret that he has within his, you know, in relation to his relationship with Kate, with his relationship with Agent Moore, and his relationship with Mary as well.
Yeah, she never did. Her mom dies and we move on, and season 1. And that whole time, Mary is grieving. That's behind every scene. That's in every private moment. And I think at this point, she's voicing it.
And of course, on top of that, he still has his other daughter to deal with as well, Alice, which he kind of touches on briefly at the beginning of season 2, but I'm not sure how that progresses throughout the rest of the season.
Where is Kevin? Kevin ran out of jelly beans. Who did you sell him to? No one ever really knew his face. And now that he's hidden behind a mask, no one ever will.
So we introduce Ocean as this He refers to himself as a dirt nerd, or that's kind of what Alice gets out of him, that he's this dirt nerd. He's actually a grower of mushrooms, psychedelic mushrooms, that is one of the key ingredients in this drug called snakebite. It's fear toxin in psychedelic mushrooms. And he becomes one of the main manufacturers and one of the main guys that actually know how to make snakebite. And Angelique is one of Gotham's best snakebite peddlers, and she's been a kind of a drug dealer her whole adult life, but snakebite is the it drug of the moment, and so she kind of gets ensnared into the snakebite world.
This is actually a really good example of when you have to react to something that's not there, because I think they had maybe just cast Nathan, but they didn't have a photo, so it was just a green piece of paper, and I had to walk up to it and have this moment with this green piece of paper. But that specific scene, of course, is gonna send Alice on an entirely different path in uncovering this whole part of her history that she has really completely forgotten. So it's a very pivotal moment, I think, for Alice's character.
And as a viewer, your heart sort of patters a little bit, and you're wondering, did Alice have something going on, and why is she confused about it? So the tease is, did she have sort of something going on with some really attractive man on an island somewhere?
I get it. You move into her place, you take over her bar. If I lost my sister, I want to hang on to every piece of her too.
Speaking of shorter commutes to work, you should totally live here.
With you?
I'm serious. I mean, it's already paid for. There's an extra bedroom. The bathroom is huge. And no offense, your plant was looking kind of sad in your van. This has corner sunlight.
Okay,
There's a cute.
You don't have to sell my ass on moving out of my van. Yes, I'd love to live here.
Okay.
My favorite thing about working with Nicole is actually when it's a mix of both. It's like when the cameras stop rolling and when they're rolling. Our characters are so different because, Nicole is like wealthy and well put together and fashionable. And Ryan's just like, she's just this kid. She's this street kid, and she doesn't know anything about style and money. What? Like, even if she had money, she'd just go give the money to someone that she thinks needs it.
It is an unlikely friendship. They've got this, you can make the argument that both their moms were killed by Alice and that's what bonds them, but that's not necessarily true. Ryan surprises Mary because Ryan is the person that she needs. Ryan's the first person to say, I'm gonna get revenge for both of our moms. You deserve more memories with your mom.
So to see these two dynamic characters, I think that they literally are able to kind of like give what someone else is missing or lacking, and they have that balance. But then for Nicole and I, it's just like, it's so much fun because our energy is like this. Like, we are both very energetic people. So to be in a scene with her, it's literally like, we just go at it and it's fun. Then when the cameras aren't rolling, we're in the green room like cracking jokes and playing music. So like, that's my dog.
It is like the episode, in my opinion, that feels like Batman Robin, that feels like Mary and Ryan's like buddy cop show.
While I loved the dynamic between Kate and Mary season 1, and it was really fun to play, and we saw Mary kind of pulling at Kate's coat, being like, look at me, notice me, I'm here. It took Kate some 18 episodes to realize how valuable Mary was in her life, which was an interesting and fun dynamic to write. Now, Ryan's coming into this dynamic without the baggage of having grown up with Mary. And she just sees Mary as a smart, sophisticated, funny, kind of goofy gal. And getting them to live together was a really fun, kind of occurred to us while we were breaking the season. Like, of course they should be roommates. And I think we get to play a lot of sort of domestic fun stuff between them that, doesn't need to be life or death stakes. It's just two girls who happen to be friends, which I think the show is great at showing the action and the fight and the high stakes, but also what I think our show does well is showing these basic human, real life moments between just two human beings, two friends.
The reason Ryan is hiding her wound is because she knows that Luke would think that she's weak. It's somewhat, I mean, let's look at it in real life, right? If there is something that I am uncomfortable with, sometimes I don't say anything because I don't want someone to think I can't do the job. And that's really what Ryan's going through. She won't let them know about the wound because she's worried that they will think that she cannot do the job. And that's just another excuse to say that she's not good enough to be Batwoman, you know?
Am I in your bed or something?
Nah, I'm just nosy. Ghost kid? He ain't a superhero.
Says who?
All he can do is be invisible.
Maybe people who feel invisible think he's dope.
Who? Like you? For the record, I see you. New rule. You keep opening that window for me, and I've got your back when you need someone.
What we wanted to explore when we introduced Angelique was Ryan's quote-unquote kryptonite. We wanted to showcase a piece of Ryan's past and something that she was anchored to and something that really mattered to her, and show it in present day as what's going to be a clear obstacle for her to be Batwoman. And having somebody like Angelique who's a little shady and can be a little toxic, even though they're in love and even though she's a good person, that's a problem for the city's hero.
That is Ryan's kryptonite. If anything, Angelique is Ryan's kryptonite. Should the audience be worried? Yes, be worried. Pray for your girl, because Angelique she got a lot going on, and you know Ryan has so much love for her because like you see in episode 3, Angelique saved her. And so with that's a weakness that she has. She's very forgiving, especially to Angelique. And I think it's going to end up rearing its ugly head at some point.